here I had hoped that the game would have been kind to me. And have thrown me into a world already. Whoops. Anyway, hello! Hello, hello, hello. It is Saturday, it's the 9th, and it's 2:15. I, for once, am actually keeping to my own schedule. Also, my allergies are catching up today with me, despite having already taken medicine for it. Not always fun. So yeah, hi, it is 2:15. So, yesterday I was feeling deeply ill. Well, not necessarily ill, but I was feeling sick. So I spent yesterday just a lot of like sitting in bed and watching some stuff. We watched a lot of Better Call Saul actually in preparation for the last 6 episodes ever. I also did some stuff on Final Fantasy XIV. Mostly, as you can see, once again, a couple of the quests have changed. In that I have finished up Alexander, and I am in the coming few days going to finish up Omega, and hopefully the lighthouse will pop. Mostly because then stuff can happen and it can all be checked off. Not necessarily fun for me. Also, this is the last stream, or the last Final Fantasy stream before next week on Friday, because I'll have midterms. So, or at least I will have the redo of the finals. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I'll either be learning or I'll be at university. Might throw in a quickie on Wednesday, but that's not at all a guarantee. So, what did we do last time? Last time around, we went into Labyrinthos and enjoyed what is one of my more favorite areas of the game. I mean, to be fair, every Endwalker area is great. So yeah, let's just enjoy the music here for a bit more. I mean, it is just amazing music right there. Just utterly lovely. There we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and go into the dark of the tower. Like I said, the Tower of Zod is about to happen. Since there has been progress in both investigations, so we share the findings from our respective locales. Yes, let's. Also got myself a little some iced tea, because it is hot. Cheers.
Your time in Thafnir has certainly been eventful. In my opinion, carrying out Vitra's request and assaulting the Tower of Zot should be our highest priority.
I agree. While I still have questions concerning the Forum and their grand undertaking, we have all but exhausted our avenues of investigation. Simply pressing them any harder on the subject will almost certainly result in our expulsion. Therefore, I suggest we explore the ethereal sea connection by way of a letter to Master Matoya, then make our way to Thafnir.
Okay,
I wonder, even with the protection these talismans afford us, what can we hope to achieve once inside the tower? According to Orenvold and Frodola's report, they were unable to free the Emulger. Worse, their attempts triggered the tower's defenses, which led to a summoning of Luna Ifrit.
What does it tell us that the Spires even have such defenses?
Very fair point.
Simply pulling a prisoner from the wall is fatal. Thus, the direct approach is doomed to failure from the outset. Any further measures to dissuade such actions seem unnecessary. Unless, of course, there is a way to free the prisoners without killing them. Then it stands to reason that any intruders will be met with overwhelming force.
The towers appeared throughout the world in but the twinkling of an eye. 'Twas by magical means these structures were raised, I surmise. A spire thus conjured must needs be maintained, and I suspect an arcane catalyst, some manner of core, doth lie hidden within. Destroy the core, and the tower ceaseth to be, thus liberating the captives without harm.
So we can hope, and I would prefer to enter the tower with a working theory than with no plan at all.
Assuming Ishtola's reasoning is correct, the chances of the defenses remaining dormant are small to none. Any primals will have to be dealt with, and defeating one will likely only lead to the summoning of another. Our every victory will only compound the prisoner's suffering.
May we not then divide our forces? Those proficient in healing will focus on sustaining the captives. That duty can be covered by Urianger, Kryl, Yostola, and myself. The remaining scions will proceed with the search for the core. Admittedly, this strategy puts both parties at greater risk, but it should bolster our chances of saving the Arcosodora by a considerable margin.
Precisely, are you sure he's in the right group? Not known to heal people's wounds.
If you're to fight primals, then you'd best have at least one healer with you.
And I am more than happy to fulfill that role. I found wielding a sage's armament to be rather intuitive, and look forward to testing them against a more challenging foe.
Very fair.
It seems we have a plan. All that remains is to carry it out. I will inform Rads at Han of our movements, so let us make our preparations and regroup near the tower.
A military post in what's left of the Hamsa hatchery should serve as a convenient staging point.
That sounds perfect. And remember, the experimental aetherite at the confluence is there for those who need it, so there's no excuse for being late.
With that, wow, okay, let's move. With that, we have our goal. Like I said, time to enter the Tower of Zod. Yeah, let's peek at the Hamsa first. Oh yeah, ooh, yes please. So yeah, I've been leveling up the Reaper as I've been doing all of these quests. I also need to start working on the level 80 stuff actually. So I will probably have to use my Paladin for that, which is going to create a problem. That's a problem I can work next week on. As I'll have, basically between now and the next week will be 6 days. And those 6 days I can be used to level some stuff up to 80 and do the 80 quests as well. Because there's one level 80 quest line that needs to be done that's done in here. Which, yeah. Anyway. Oh, right. So I've also been, like, leveling up my, at least I've also been working on my normal account. And as a result... Oh, I think I need the wrong one. We're using the company took for this. I could have also used the grey work. Let's give ourselves some time off. So yeah, I've been working hard on my main. So as a result, I will have forgotten I can't fly here, which is an issue. Yeah, boo-hoo. Ooh, look at that, it's an angry elephant. Let's just enjoy the music for a bit. Even if the sound of the sand is slowly... Ooh. What does still need to do? I mean, I want to say I still need to do Eureka, but that's on my main even. Like, I've never finished that actually. Yeah, we're here. Ish. Just letting the music do its thing. Yeah, some people in Noble's Network are talking about Eureka. This is content I'm not going to show, because, oh boy, no I'm not. Anyway, our friends of Eosia. We've been expecting you. You and yours will lead the mission into the tower, I'm told. The warding skills will be delivered soon. Till then, please stand by at the boat we have readied. When your fellows arrive, I will direct them to join you. We pray for your safety and success. Now remember, we had to watch this, look at these towers for over 8 months. So this is a rather momentous occasion. If this is the piece of ether I travel, I think I'll stick to boards. Aye, no warning, however emphatic could have prepared me for that. Ah, good boys. On account of which we are a little late, but fighting fit, mostly. My friends, permit me to thank you for accepting this mission. You must be... We should still call you for Sean, I presume. Indeed, it would not do to confuse the others. Very well then. For our part, we are humbled that you should see fit to entrust us with your warding skills. Please convey as much to His Excellency. One for each of you. Please accept them with my blessing. Our thanks. With these, we can go anywhere those with the blessings of light can go. Like me. Hello. Not only for this operation either, but all the ones to come. We can finally break your monopoly on primals. Okay, it's all yours from now on. Ah, but I'm afraid we can't let you retire just yet. You're the science brightest star, bro. I never accepted that rule. If everyone is amenable to it, let us review the strategy for good measure. As previously agreed, we will divide into 2 groups. Tribe and his band will break through the tower's defenses and locate its core. Meanwhile, the rest of us will tend to the prisoners, who will doubtless want for healing due to the duress of repeated summonings. The primals which the tower brings forth shall be deities of Vernarian myth. Ah yes, the 3 gods we've heard about. As we have no prior experience with such foes, pray exercise the utmost caution when confronting them. I will throw in my Irish accent in a bit once more. We commence the operation at your word, my friend. For the people of Tefnia, nay, the entire world, we must prevail. Yes. There we go, the Tower of Zalt is now accessible. second. There we go. One second. So far I've been able to get away with this. But that moment has now passed. One more second. Like I said, I could get away with weird gear, but that is no longer going to be a thing that I can get away with. So, yeah. There we go. Now we actually have the stuff that we need. Now we can actually enter the tower without also annoying every single person that's going to be with us. Why am I going all the way back? Because, you know, reasons. Yeah, and there's at the moment not much to say, because we're just kind of casually walking around. I will say this, I don't think there's a single dungeon in Endwalker that's bad, in any way, shape or form. And I think that that is something that deserves to be said, that there is not a single tower or anything, or a tower, there's not a single dungeon where I go, huh, that feels a bit off. You know, like a lot of the natural dungeons in Heavensward. Kind of felt, I also like the glowing effect at night. That gives this really ominous vibe to the entire thing. Anyway. Ritra, the great worm of the first blood and the hidden satrap of Razadhan, has bid the Scions to cross to Northerner and mount a foray into the tiny island's unnatural spire. A telephorite structure known by the locals as the Tower of Zod. Your companions join you on your journey, protective talismans in hand, prepare to face whatever unnamed horrors await you within. Come what may, you cannot allow Nidhana and her kin to perish in the grips of darker magic and darker designs. Average wait time is 7 minutes. So let us wait here for a bit. Hope everyone is having a lovely day. Let me, in the meantime, go to check some news. Make sure. Oh, never mind. There we go. So yeah, welcome to the Tower of Zod. So yeah, welcome to what is absolutely so far the most visceral dungeon in this game. See how far we can run this. Go. So dungeon so far is also as it is the favorite version of the new expansion, always a bit easier than the last version. You would think. You know, give everyone a bit of a way to go ahead and say hi. I'll go ahead and unlock the spells in a bit. It's a bit loud. There we go. Now the sound effects aren't going to blow everyone away. So yeah, and also because we are now in a new expansion. So yeah. It is very simple for now, just run across these dangerous wires. What I also really like about the Tower so far is that it is so much bigger on the inside than it looks on the outside. You know, it really gives us a sense that whatever it is that we're dealing with is just of a scale out, quite literally out of this world. And also the different armors. I will say this already, we are going to be fighting two towers in this expansion. These two towers that we know of at the moment. And the interesting thing is that despite the fact that they are both going to be towers, their designs are very different. And like I said, I mean, just look at all these spires, these stalactites. It's all like both mechanical and very organic. Reminds me of games like Alone in the Dark. So that's very much a very visceral style of what would be a very visceral style of horror. with that, it's time for our first ball. Say hi to the first of our three guards we need to kill today. Say hi to Mindurva. And there's going to be a... I will tell you this right now, you better get to know the mechanics of this fight rather sooner rather than later. Because we're going to be seeing all these mechanics again in this dungeon. Also, say hi to the new battle music. So, you've been hearing the music throughout the streaming, in that I've been putting the music on at the start of the stream because it is just such a good... It's just good. There's nothing bad to say about this. Also, obviously, HP pool is higher. Yep. And there is so much to say about it because we are not seeing the mechanics, but the thing is, like I said, if you're going to be fighting this boss, you better get used to these mechanics real fast. You will know why in a bit. So as you can see, the dungeon is already more demanding than most other dungeons. So yeah, Endwalker definitely ups the skill floor of the dungeon. They still aren't at the level where I would be like, maybe they maybe should be, but there's definitely more going on. There are more varied mechanics. And overall, I would argue dungeons are... I mean, already the dungeons in Shadowbringers are already good, but I would argue that where Shadowbringers might have one or two does, Endwalker doesn't. Simple as that. Let me go ahead on that. Okay. That is... lightning. Let me go here. I always need to keep in mind the fact that I'm in Europe, so I need to make sure that I'm also in it a bit earlier than I probably everyone else. And also, yes, Holy Sheltron is like an absolutely amazing defensive buff. So happy to have that. Oh, that... I've never seen that happen before. I've never seen that happen. Okay. So now all we can do is move up into the tower. Then into even more organic part of it. Called the incubation kind of channel. And just look at this. Just look at this beautiful, or beautiful, like this. There's nothing beautiful about it, but like this almost haunting look of the dungeon. You know, very much reminds me of Alien, Alone in the Dark. Very visual. One could almost argue like we're running through a body itself. And we're also starting to get some HP Lovecraft in there. With how the temper with how the temper looks. Yeah, we are definitely now in HP Lovecraft territory. And if this was once a boss, But now he's just a regular enemy. No opportune. An enemy that was already... which could have already known was going to be at some point in the game if you had looked at the flavor text of Stormblood. And the fact that what we were fighting back in Custom Albania was a test subject. I can only argue that these are like people that are even further gone the unbuilt than just purely the template. There we go. Oh yeah, I forgot to roll on my loot. Oh shit. Come on, get all of them over here. Come on, over here, buddy. Healing. Don't need any of them. And at this point, if you are at this point in the game, you should probably know what it is that you're looking for. The fact that as a tank I need the fending gear, and if I see any non-fending, then it's not my business. We are moving into Prosperity's Promise and the second boss of the day. Senderuva, the eldest child. See once again, get use of her attack patterns because we're going to once again get to know them sooner rather than later. Okay, come on, buddy, back up to the middle you go. I will say this, like, attacking definitely for me has evolved over time, but at first I was always going to just move it north nowadays and keep it in the center. And I think that the evolvement came with the game itself as well, where the game at first basically focused you on making sure that the enemy was always up north. Nowadays a lot of mechanics are based on the center, so keeping the enemy at the center is useful for everyone. Although that might have always been the case. But I just didn't notice until a few years ago at this point. Oh, hang on. Is this new? That like it's lost. Is that a new thing? I'm honestly not sure. Like they did change a bunch of things to 6.18, and I haven't been in a fight yet where stuff is temporarily locked. So it's entirely really possible. It's still, like, if it is in-game, then it's a really nice indicator to know when to not use limit break. Let's use guard. done. Let's move up to the top of the tower, shall we? Through the incarnation channel. Into the very top. Where, who knows what we will be finding right there. Swing, aiming, swing, striking. And let's drop this one in temporarily. Okay, this one can swing. This is again started by normal rotation because everything else was on cooldown. Oh, yep. Come on, buddy. Hit me. And also you can see we've basically moved away from the evil dudes into just normal mechanical beings. Which, I'll be honest, I've never been so happy to see the mechanical guardian enemies. There is something very visceral about the first two areas. It just kind of makes me uncomfortable. Which I guess is also kind of the point. Come on, buddy. Sentinel as leeway for monster to reload. I really should learn to use on flank more. Like even on my main, I forget that the attack exists that time. Alright, I forgot about quick just I really should learn my rotation more. Anyway. Say hi. To the Mega Sisters. We have now fight all three guards at the same time. Wait, oh yeah, that's the landing. Oopsie. So yeah, Cinderova, she also has a couple of attacks of her own. And as I said, and there we go, here's the reason that these bosses are harder than they normally are. Because for now we have to deal with all three of them at the same time. Like I said, the game has stopped fussing about and has started saying, hey guys, how about some lights? you know, everything. Sure, that totally won't be a problem. Yeah, now we're doing this with us. So yeah, I've also said this, Endwalker bosses really hate standing still. So I feel for every single caster that has to deal with everything happening all at once. Now, as the bosses start to be killed, you will be dealing with less of them and with less attacks. But yeah, as you can see, it's a bit of a shit show. I can also learn the magic side of the gladiator. There we go, that's one done. Got 2 more to go. And it would shouldn't surprise you, the summoned sisters are a bit easier to fight and a bit easier to kill. A lot easier actually. Go, one more sister to kill. Like I said, yeah, the music for the final boss of each dungeon is also like just great. And for once, the circular area actually makes sense. Because it's in the middle of a gigantic tower. So that is actually a pretty nice way to kind of incorporate that into the dungeon. Don't need any of them. There you go, nice. 2 player accommodations.
Is everyone all right?
We fortified the captives with what magics we could. Have the defenses been disabled? All appears quiet for the moment.
Lower floors were disturbing enough, but this place feels wrong. The ether is heavy and thick, like wading through a quagmire.
I believe we stand in the tower's beating heart. What sayest thou, Stola?
I see it. Ether siphoned from the land runs up through the spire, flowing to a single point.
So we need to start figuring out where that point is going.
This is the core we seek. Yet something is off. As large as this structure is, it siphons far more ether than is required to sustain it. 'Tis as if the core is feeding on the energy, consuming it. I need to take a closer look. Curious. There There is something there embedded inside the core. A man's limb.
You want me? Hang on.
This is what we came to destroy?
Yes, if you would be so kind.
So, someone got chopped up for these towers? That's grim. Oh god, that's deeply grim. Why don't we get such cool attacks as interactions are good? Yeah.
And that should be the end of it.
Yay! It's one tower done, many more to go.
What now?
My theory that the tower might come crashing down following the core's destruction doth appear to be correct.
And you're telling us this now, why?
Bully for you! And how are we supposed to survive the fall?
What of the prisoners below?
The floor beneath our very feet dissolves. Brace yourselves!
Oh boy, this is bad.
I pray I'm not too late.
Oh! We
What
survived!
happened?
Hooray!
Where are we?
By my reckoning, we're still on the island where the tower stood. But 'tis as if it never existed. Hardly a scratch. But how?
Oh boy. Are you okay, buddy?
Graha wove a levitation spell at the last moment. Large enough to catch everyone, it would seem.
Oh, that's actually amazing news.
That
It's actually
explains the
amazing.
lack of obvious injuries.
The expenditure of so much ether has taken its toll. He will need plenty of rest, but should otherwise be none the worse for wear.
Then the immediate problem is what to do with our new friends here. They'll be much changed for their time in the tower. Even if their bodies are intact, I doubt we could say the same for their minds.
Angelo and I will take care of that.
I have every faith in you, Alize, but there are just too many for you to treat alone.
We'll send at once to Eorzea for more Porksies, and call on the local mages to lend a hand.
Hail, Scions! We were watching the tower when it simply disappeared. What happened here?
The threat is banished, and thy people delivered. They are, however, in need of treatment, and we of a secure locale and helping hands to assist us in its provision.
You shall have all this and more. Come, let us convey these unfortunate souls to the city.
So yeah, that was the Tower of Zod. The very first dungeon of Endwalker has been done. A momentous occasion, if I do say so myself. Just quickly go ahead and take a look at some stuff. So yeah, the liberated prisoners are being transported to Razat Han for treatment. LSA and Ishtola will oversee the administration of tempering treatment, with support from those who know a healing spell or two. We'll go and join them in the city once you've had a moment to catch your breath. Yes. You may now enter the Tower Salt with a party of NPC FFXIV. Yeah, we know. Let's move into the Jewel of Fafnir. Had enough rest, have you? You were never one for being idle. Right. Barshan bade us to come to Mekhaduta at our earliest convenience. The others will join us once they have finished tending to the prisoners. Ah wait, a second thought. You and Arsenia should go on ahead. I need to make a quick detour by the Great Bug. You'd have Graha in the Alchemist's care, you see. Best to fetch him before he's crammed into a specimen jar. Just you and me then. The guardsmen at the gate should wave us through. Indeed. Let us go ahead and go to Razatan. Very first dungeon, always lovely. You can also see just how overleveled we are. So I am going to be working on getting a Gunbreaker probably up to 80 at some point, so that I can actually focus on. I'll have the entirety of next week to worry about that. Can't wait for it. So yeah, I'll need to have a think about how we're going to be dealing with the fact that we are a few quests ahead. We are only 2 quests ahead at the moment. So, not 2 quests ahead. We are only like 2 quests ahead from 2 quests away from 82. But in what is not going to be the biggest surprise on the planet, there is going to be a lot of 82 quests. Let's go to speak with the Radiant Guardsman. It's just nice. You know, the weather, it's nice and cloudy. The tower is no longer here. People can slowly but steadily start having their life go back to normal. It's just cozy. Ah, honored scions, you are free to enter at your leisure. As I cannot leave my post, I'm afraid you must make your own way. Should you require directions in the city, at the sentry stationed at a fountain atop the steps should be glad to assist you. Well, thank you. For the first time, we can actually focus on exploring the city a bit. Though I have been to Razat Han before, this place is a veritable maze. Rather than risk getting lost, we had best ask for directions from this sentry at the fountain. Lead the way, and don't expect me to take the tour guide like certain others. Yeah. But there is still this somber, melancholy tone playing. And we can now officially attune to the different Ethernet charts. Ah, Master Tribe, I presume. I understand you're here for an audience with the Satrap. If you require directions to Megandata, I should be glad to provide them. The Satrap's residence is situated in Dharma, the highest place of Rosathan. To get there, I would ordinarily recommend a route that takes you by the bazaar in the city's north. Due to the state of alert, however, most businesses are currently closed and the Etherite disabled. As such, I will provide you with an alternative path. Please ascend the steps next to this fountain, then continue left. There will be more steps, and upon ascending them, you will emerge on Paksha's path. Proceed through the large door on the right, and you will arrive at Raven Fibers. Within, you will find another sentry who will give you further guidance. In other words, we head up. Sounds straightforward enough. Indeed. So it does. Yeah, let's go and see what's up here. Ah yes, I know of this portal. It leads to a nearby isle, the treasure vault of one of Rosathan's wealthiest families. They took the god of good luck for their guardian, on account of which they occasionally open up sections of the vaults for aspiring treasure hunters to try their own luck, or so to say. There are coffers hidden across the land that access portals. Find one, and you gain access to the vault. Something to bear in mind in case you exhaust your funds while on the road. It is a troublesome experience, as I can personally attest. AKA, you once again been spending too much. It's not our problem, it's just a you problem. Go left, up the stairs. But I really love the somber tone of I just love the somber tone of this place. There's something so melancholy, almost like fleeting memories that are lost to time. Heading to Mekaduta, are you? In that case, please follow this hallway to my right and go through the stairs, through the door at the top of the stairs. You'll emerge at the entrance to the airship landing, where another sentry should be on hand to assist you. Incidentally, if you ascend the steps to either of me, you'll find the workshops of Raven Fibers. Though you are free to observe the artisans, take care not to lose your way. Ah, Tafinarian weed. Hard to imagine a more vibrant stuff. I dare say Emmerich would be partial to the gold thread. And the blue, of course. He loves his blue. I never put much thought into what I wear. A spare set of clothing is usually all I carry, and if that isn't enough, I can always obtain something locally. Okay, fair enough. Once again shows that he's a very practical person. You did say the hallway on your right, buddy. Oh, on your right! Jesus. Mild grumblings about the fact that people never mention whether or not it's your right or their right. If you're here for an airship, I'm afraid all flights have been suspended until further notice. So the state of alert is still in effect. Perhaps it is for the best. That aside, we're not here for an airship. We have business at Mekaduta. Oh, in that case, permit me to direct you. From here, it's quite simple, really. Ascend these steps and then continue straight ahead and across the bridge. You cannot miss it. The thing is, we cannot attune yet to the big Aetherite, but we can start attuning to the smaller Aetherites, which makes travel a bit faster. Ah, I remember passing here by here with Farshan. The situation being as it was, he regretted not being able to show us the sights. Life has yet to return to normal here, but when it does, you ought to pay another visit. Though the city is confusing, the food is quite good. I'm partial to Hampshire myself. The meat is surprisingly tender and flavorful. That is one annoyed little bird. So yeah, we're basically making sort of like a roundabout up here. So toink, 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 toink. And then we'll leave these for later. I like this kind of like being unable to focus on the Aetheryte a lot more fun than the Yomo one, where it's just like, oh no, you're not a citizen, go away. Now it's like, okay, you know, there's an emergency going on here in Rostedhan, so it makes sense that the Ether net at the moment is closed and everyone is basically forced to stay indoors. Unless they like have to get out. Which, yeah. There you go. Greetings and welcome to Mekaduta. May I inquire after your business? We are members of the Science of the Seventh Dawn. Come at an invitation of His Excellency. Ah, of course. We've been expecting you. I will show you into the audience chamber, if you would please follow me. By all means, do. Allow me in. Also, the use of music from all the different expansions really helps with like setting up the fact that this is the finale expansion of this entire story.
Are we the last to arrive? I hope we've not kept you waiting.
Not at all. Your comrade is feeling better, I trust.
Much better, thank you. Harness remedies are certainly potent in more ways than one.
Shush.
One becomes accustomed to the taste, although I hope you never have cause to do so. Pray, take your ease.
Full glad I am to see you all unharmed.
Valiant scions, for your heroism, you have my boundless gratitude. You cast down that dire tower and set free its hapless captives. You cleanse their souls of its corrupting influence. No words of thanks will suffice. In place of platitudes, I offer a bounty of warding scales. Pray accept your due reward, along with the goodwill of Radzatan.
Alchemists throughout the land were put to work in the forging of your talismans. The finished ones have been collected, and now await you at the High Crucible of Alchemia. Present this letter when you are ready to take them into your possession.
We are humbled by your generosity. Know that the inventive wisdom of Radzatan will be vital in restoring serenity to our star.
Every single one of those scales came from you, didn't they? You must still be in such pain.
"'Tis of no moment. A mere annoyance compared to the dreadful suffering inflicted upon this land and its people.
Albeit brief, my involvement in the Dragonsong War afforded me a glimpse of the myriad sorrows which consumed both dragon and man. Though you were half a world away, such tragedies as befell your kin must have affected you deeply. And yet, you chose to live among men.
In the age when that conflict first bloomed, my choice had already been made. In some distant place, man slew dragon, and dragon slaughtered man. Yet no hate could I muster for those smiling faces which did look to me for guidance. Not even my brother's righteous rage could rally me to his cause. I huddled here, secret and still, hoping against hope that which I had built would remain untouched by the chaos and carnage.
Twould seem we share the same desire for peace, great Vritra. To that end, I wonder if we might trouble you with another question. The Telophoroi are intent on recreating the final days, an apocalyptic event which we know to predate the sundering of the star. As the longest lived among us, know you aught of this terrible cataclysm?
Nay. When war and strife drove my sire from his home, he crossed the great expanse with only our unhatched eggs as company. He alighted upon a shattered source, its 13 reflections long since scattered beyond the rift. Of events preceding his arrival, he knoweth naught, save that which Hydralin hath deigned to disclose.
I see. So again, 'tis the inscrutable Hydaelyn to whom we must look for answers.
Seek you to divine the will of this star? If so, I have a tale which may afford you some small comfort. 'Tis a story from my youth, many, many years ago. To my sire, I once posed the question, of all the stars in the sky, why didst thou settle upon this one? To which Midgardsummer did reply, 'twas the last bastion of hope.
Interesting.
He believed so long as Hydaelyn endured, so too might dragonkind. Solemn and portentous were his words. What deeper meaning they held, I could not, dared not pursue. 'Tis a stone I've left unturned ever since. Yet take you solace in the knowledge that whatsoever Hydaelyn does strive towards, 'tis an ideal which hath earned my sire's conviction.
Thank you, Vritra. You've given us warm reassurance in a world gripped by cold uncertainty.
While I'm sure we all have a great many questions, I think it's time we collect the talismans and be on our way. Our fight against the Telophoroi is far from finished.
We must take our leave, but please do inform us if we can provide any further assistance.
Prithee, a moment. There is one whom my sire hath judged worthy of honor and respect. The one known to men as Eorzea's champion. This hero of renown and rumor, 'tis thee.
Yes, we have crossed paths. Not that we've spoken too much.
I knew it to be so. From man and dragon alike have I learned of thine exploits. 'Twas a revelation most pleasing that thou, a child of man, had gained Midgardsonar's trust. But alongside mine elation runneth a rivulet of dread. For upon thy life's reel wind too many threads of fate, power, weal enmeshed with woe. Amidst this tangled knot thou shalt know no rest. 'Tis an endless confluence of forces, a struggle without surcease. More terrible still is the attrition wrought upon thy companions, as they are swept up in the storm of thine existence.
He has a point there. Just about everyone we've met has been hurt in some way, killed in some way, eyesight eternally altered. It's just not about it's just about not a single person immediately in our immediate orbit that hasn't been changed for better and worse because they know us.
Take heart and protect them well. They will be your strength and your salvation. The hope thou wilt need come the end. Even cowering behind my curtain, I know the suffering of the powerful. I have watched my siblings driven mad by loss. Thus do I exhort thee to spare no effort to keep thy loved ones safe.
Oh, we've been it seems we've been talking for quite a while.
Ah, apologies. We hadn't meant to interrupt.
It's just that we do have a history of suddenly collapsing, and when you didn't follow us out...
'Tis I who must apologize. I have detained your champion overlong with idle chatter.
I mean, can you only imagine if suddenly we were joined into a completely new world?
At war's end, I pray I welcome thee back into my hall, where together with thy joyful comrades, you may toast your triumph.
So yeah, we've a lot to think about actually, especially in regards to what I said myself, which is that a lot of our companions over the course of Final Fantasy XIV have, yeah, been hurt in some way simply for associating with us. Does make one wonder. So, what were you and Ritra talking about? Stuff. Nothing? Very well, if you say so. The others have gone ahead to the High Crucible. Let's catch up to them. Yep, let's move into the color of joy! Yes! Let's have some joy! Let's pop some joy, shall we? The attendant was kind enough to give me directions to the High Crucible. First, let us return to the Mulberry Orchard. Luckily for me, we have an Ethernet we can go ahead and use. Ah, never mind, it's just on the way there. But yeah, lot to think about. Very much a lot to think about. Now, if you want to have an indication for how far we are, or like how long it's going to get to certain quests, I always kind of assume 15 minutes per quest, unless it's a dungeon, then 45 minutes per quest. So that is a handy dandy chart for you, should you want to keep track of when we're going to hit something. From here, we're supposed to follow the path left and past the mulberries. Okay. I mean, they do look like good mulberries. I have no idea what mulberries are, but I assume they look good. It's a nice orange glow with the blue sky. I really like this color gradient, like the sky slowly moving from day to night as the first stars can start to be seen. When the street turns, enter the door straight ahead and then descend the steps. I thought the Crystarium was confusing, but it doesn't compare to Razathan. The architecture and decorations make it even harder to get your bearings. Anyway, let's see where this door takes us. Takes us indoor to a small little indoor plaza. There is one single alas though, which is also if you're like, wow, this looks empty. It is technically between 7 and 9 AM on a Saturday in America. Between 6 and 9 AM on a Saturday in America. And also this area in general is just not used all that much. I really like it as an endgame area. It's just that the majority of people are in their usual places. So... And here's the Aetheryte Plaza. So far so good, and there isn't much further left to go. From here we just need to cross the other side of the other side of the hall, then pass through the larger of the two doorways. The High Crucible lies beyond. I suspect the others have already collected the warding skills. Come, let's join them. And if we go here, according to the message on the base, the Aetheryte has been temporarily disabled. So there's no way for us to attune. In any way. There we go, the High Crucible of Alchemia. Alchemia, god damn it. I'm only now noticing the joke in there. We're lost, of course, but at least we found the place. Yes.
These are the talismans we were promised.
Yes, and I made a quick count. There are far more than we could have hoped for. Enough to outfit an entire company of soldiers, in fact. Considering the involved process, That they were able to manufacture so many in such a short span of time is nothing short of a miracle.
Once we have distributed them to our allies in Eorzea and the Far East, we'll have a fighting chance to bring down the other spires, just as we did with the Tower of Zot.
Or we could use them to invade Garlemald proper, and strike directly at the Telophoroid's base of operations. Of course, we would need to consult with various Alliance leaders before such a drastic measure could even be contemplated. To which end, I could set out forthwith and present the idea to each of our allies in person.
Pray allow me to undertake some few of those journeys. I find myself restless and in need of purposeful duties.
I can head eastward. Bosnia and Dalmasca are just a short hop from here. And Doma's shinobi network should come in handy for passing on the word.
We shall share the burden then. Meanwhile, I think it best that you and the others take the talismans back to the Baldessian Annex. We must keep them safe and secure until we've decided upon a course of action.
Please, I must speak with you.
Hello? Oh, you're better than Hannah! Yay!
Nidana, you're awake.
Yes. When I spoke with the carer at my bedside, she told me that one of the scions, a young woman, had cleansed me of the tower's corruption. It seems I'd been asleep ever since the treatment. But when I awoke and learned you were all still here, I knew I had to come.
As you said, Nidana was captured only recently. Such a brief exposure is swiftly cured, so I tended to her before we gathered at Megaduta.
Oh, yay! That's actually really good news.
And I am truly grateful that you did. I cannot thank you enough. All of you, for everything you've done. Destroying the tower, rescuing our people. You've saved Thavnair from an awful fate.
Yet who hath truly saved whom?
That is a very good question.
Due in no small part to thine inspirational courage, the alchemists were successful in reproducing warding scales of proven efficacy. Replications of thy work now stand ready to travel across the seas, unto the hands of those who might wield them against this rising evil.
The talisman? Is this true?
It is honestly kind of amazing how fast stuff all of a sudden moves.
Oh, I was so groggy from sleep. I didn't even think to ask. Oh, our great work sent across the seas. It was worth it. Oh, it was all worth it.
Look at that! Its color is completely changed.
What do you have there?
Yeah,
How unusual. I wonder if the effect is a reaction to Akasha.
It's actually very good, very nice to see the flower,
I'm
which is
afraid
going
I'm
to,
not familiar with that term.
which is a
Akasha?
nice way of
It is one of the
highlighting each end of a
energies
soybean.
defined by Harnish alchemical theory. Though a gross oversimplification, Some describe it as an essence influenced by feelings.
Really not.
You imply that it is distinct from ether.
Foreign scholars often conflate the two, but we see them as separate concepts. Ether is an energy which permeates the land. It exists within animals, objects, even the air we breathe, affecting all through which it flows. Akasha, on the other hand, exists in a domain beyond our reach. A gift bestowed from on high, or torn from the heavens in some traditions.
It really like
Akasha can
the
neither be
bright yellowness of
created
the flower.
nor destroyed. It is beyond our power to purposefully alter or manipulate. The only thing observed to influence it is an abundance of, I want to say, spiritual emotion. As a veteran of the battlefield, surely you've experienced moments of desperation or exaltation when you've transcended the usual limits of your capabilities.
What she's basically showing.
That is a manifestation of Akasha, the invisible essence harnessed by heart, mind, and unyielding spirit.
What she's basically saying is that a limit break is basically
I really
just
must
this.
hear more about this theory. Our disciplines are based entirely upon the idea that ether is the fundamental form of all energy.
I'm glad my haphazard explanation has piqued your interest. But even for us, Akasha is a somewhat abstract field of study. A lack of practical application lends itself poorly to formalized research. Which is why my analysis of your flower can amount to little more than idle speculation. I am sorry.
It's still like a very interesting idea.
Nonsense. You have nothing to be sorry for. Your insight is much appreciated.
Shall we depart for Charlian then? I will see to it that the talismans arrive at the Annex.
And we will be in touch once our talks are concluded. I suggest you rest while you can. From here onward, sleep is bound to be in short supply.
Hint, 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 hint. But yeah, it's just really nice to see that we're actually making progress. Wait, let's go back to the annex. Also, can I just say the fact that traveling to another world is cheaper than traveling to Charlian is just awkward? Like, I get it, technically we're traveling to... Oh boy. I get it, we're technically traveling like to Mordona, from there just run to the Crystal Tower, but still, it's awkward. It's good to be back, with the fruits of our labors safely in storage. For now, we have but to wait for the others to return from their respective meetings with the Alliance leaders. As Vankrit suggested, we should get some rest in the meantime. Yes, let's. Welcome back, tribe. Kryl has appraised me of your recent accomplishments. What an amazing feat to eliminate a tower and pave the way to deal with the rest. Well, it isn't much. I've changed your sheets and plumped up your pillow. After all, there's nothing like collapsing in a nice clean bed after completing a major milestone. Be it penning a thesis or defeating deformed entities. So would you like to take a look at your new and improved lodgings now? Yes. Yes, I very much would. There you go, we now have access to lodgings over here. believe I already had, actually. Oh, yeah. It's just so weird to have, like...
Take heart and protect them well.
Oh! Food!
Good, you're here. You haven't eaten yet, have you?
Speaking of food.
We've bought quite a spread if you're interested. Only the finest dining from the last stand.
Oh my. Oh, Alice, you should, I mean, still, if... I'm calling dibs on the hamburger. You can't move myself.
Lest you wonder, we invited Estinian as well. But he refused with a rather grim-faced, "No, thank you." I suspect Charlian cuisine is not to his liking.
Oh, I don't know about that. Perhaps our lone wolf just needed some time apart. What? To perfect his brooding stare? Next time, I'll drag him out by the ear, sit him down in front of a Charlian feast, and see that he eats every last bite.
An excellent idea. Of all people, warriors must take proper meals and rest if they are to maintain a healthy constitution.
Poor Estinian, beset on all sides.
I love the fact that the scene has been committed into the goofball of the expansion.
Speaking of one's physical condition, Mistress Kryl, I hear you recently played literal host to Heidelin herself.
And what an experience that was. Tiring, yes, but no lasting harm done. If anything, I should have liked to speak with her longer. I've not felt a hint of her presence since. Heidelin instructed you to carry that flower, yes? 'Twill be your guide, test and proof of your conviction. And then something about seeking joy in darkness, was it? Come to think of it, isn't that what happened with Nidana back in Radzat-Han?
The flower did seem to radiate a joyful glow, as if reflecting the elation we all felt. The relief of a people with renewed hope.
Indeed. And in turn, I felt buoyed by that radiance. 'Twas akin to spotting a beacon, and knowing we were on the right path. I know we've not yet triumphed over the Telophoroi, or learned the full breadth of the Forum's plans. But even within the midst of our struggles, we find small moments of joy to sustain us. Rare and hard-won, perhaps, but it is this pursuit of happiness that gives us the strength to carry on day after day. Hey, that's mine.
To the swift the spoils. Though I recall that levitation spell of yours was quick enough.
Only barely. And even at my best, I'm still too slow to wield it effectively in battle. Mayhap I simply require more practice with this new magic.
You unearthed it from the depths of Numenon, I presume.
Aye, and from a veritable mountain of arcane tomes at that. 'Twas necessary to facilitate my solitary explorations.
Or, to put it simply, you used it to sneak around the Forbidden Archives.
Exactly.
Yes, well, after a fashion. They're tall, you see. The shelves, they're too tall for me. And I could hardly move the library's platforms without attracting attention now, could I?
Oh!
It's just a nice little moment, little quiet moment in all of the problems that are being faced. Kind of want to say, like, you do know these are my quarters.
Why else did you think we were here? Surrender to thy fate, O champion.
Also, Graha, why are you looking like that? Oh, look at that! Flowers growing nice and green. As if to signal the happiness that's being felt among these 5 compatriots. Meanwhile...
Ah! Enjoying the bracing cold, I see. Do you not own a warm coat or a cloak? Something in fur? Or fashioned from the skins of your enemies? Or... well, never mind that. I come to you once more as the bearer of bad news. Our tower in Thavnir has been toppled, and I need not tell you by whom. Given how many we have at our disposal, the loss of a single spire is hardly fatal to our plans. It does, however, slow the rate at which we siphon ether. If they continue to preoccupy themselves with the towers, then all will be well. But should our foe prove bold enough to strike at us here, then the timing becomes questionable.
Our foe is bold enough. Of that, I can assure you.
Still not a fan of Zenos. Never will be. Hate the guy. And not in a, ooh, I love to hate him. Which is
Yes,
bad
very
kind.
well then. I suppose I must prepare a proper welcome. Honestly, talk of your nemesis is the only thing you seem to enjoy. Does nothing else spark your interest?
No. All else is... equal. Equally tedious. Equally disappointing. The world is a tepid bog into which we sink, too weak to thrash as the mud clings to our eyes and fills our throats till we blissfully choke. But then came the light, blinding and pure and hot, so very hot, enough to set my soul aflame. I basked in the afterglow until the void yawned once more, and then I knew the muck would never claim me again. There was naught for me ahead, so I drew the curtain on all that had come before. Burn. Let the whole star burn. I will have my contest. I will reclaim my moment.
How wonderful that the emptiness of death has not dissuaded you from committing your life to its pursuit once more. I don't know whether to envy you or pity you.
You question my disinterest, but what of yours? Despite your noisome antics, I sense you take little pleasure in this endeavor.
Mercy, my lord. Such pointed barbs from one who barely acknowledges my existence. Nevertheless, you are mistaken. For I do find this part somewhat enjoyable. You see, when I was mortal, I would always have the same dream. It was a fragmented thing, disjointed, all the faces incomplete. The setting, too, was unknown to me, so I thought it simply a fantasy of my sleeping mind. Until one day, I realized it was showing me the truth. Much as your dream of the final days enlightened you. And soon, very soon, the rest of the world will see the truth of my dream, too. Yes, I think that is something we can both enjoy.
It's an interesting observation to make that, like, even Van Daniel is not necessarily happy. They're both two people simply working on the same project without any real anything really to keep them both here and there. Anyway, we're going to take a short break because I need to go to the toilet and we are hitting the 2-hour mark. And once we're back, we're going to continue with Final Fantasy XIV. Hang on, let me move here. See you guys all in a few minutes. And there we go, we're back. Let's just go ahead and continue on. Let's, yeah, ooh. Oh. Ooh. Well, everyone, sound the bell. Because school's in. Oh, there you are. Feeling refreshed, I hope. I was about to make my way to the studium, as it happens. I wanted to try and speak with Scholar Montishane and thank him for coming to our rescue in the rostra. As it turns out, he'd already come here to see us following the hearing, only to find out that we'd already departed for Tafnir. Knowing him, he probably hoped to chew the cud with his former students. Since we're still waiting for Stola and the others, I thought now the perfect time to pay him a visit. Care to join me? And it's settled. The twins will be coming too, assuming Alphino can tear himself away from his new toys. I'll let you rally the troops while I go on ahead to Phenomenon. Considering my recent impropriety, perhaps I should avoid showing my face around the studium for a time. It might be for the best. If the others should return, tell them we will not be long. Heading out for a scroll? Yeah, the Scholar himself was here. In that case, what are we waiting for? I too am eager to see him, though I somewhat dread the thought of visiting the studio. I dare say our notoriety precedes us. Often now, of all people worrying over his reputation. And at our alma mater, no less. Well, wonders never cease. You'll understand soon enough. I figure. Here it is, Phenomenon. While I expect you made note of it before, one can hardly miss it. This is the first time you've been here on official business, correct? While most of the space is taken up by the expansive auditoriums, it also houses numerous laboratories, testing grounds for experimental magics, and a host of administrative offices, and so forth. As the center of what would become the studium, it was established to promote the study of archaeological, archaeological phenomena, hence the name. Though with ether being a fundamental aspect of nature, the scope it's expanded to include every conceivable facet of life, and even the universe itself. And then, in the 432nd year of the 6th Extra Era, Phenomenon was decreed complete, and Studium officially opened as a place of learning. With a long and storied history, it is without question the world's leading authority in ethereology, the arcane, the occult, astromancy, and the countless other fields, standing proud as... Yeah, buddy. Shalian's foremost educational institute. You always did enjoy giving the grand tour to new students. Oh boy. Indeed, I've long since lost track of how many times he has recited the same foppish speech, such as his undying love for his old stomping ground. He was in top form back then, youngest to enter the studium, graduated with highest honors in magical arts and theology, and undisputed champion of the debating chamber. Fucker up of the highest caliber. Hold on, you both joined the studium at the same age, yes? And from where I stand, you're both equally prodigious scholars. Nice of you to say, but Alphino actually entered half a year before me. Nor did I do well enough to graduate with honors. But I'm certainly not the studium's most notorious master debater. In all respects, have I ever been in his shadow. If nothing else, just remember that this was where the legend of Alphino Leveilleur began. We should expect everyone to be fully aware of our recent escapades. Hopefully we'll be somewhat more welcome here than we were at the last stand. I know better than anyone the adoration of the student body as well, you know. But with a bit of luck, it might work to our advantage. Well, there's no time like the present. First things first, let's look for Scholar Montaigne. Other faculties tend to frequent their offices, but unfortunately for us, he's fond of wandering or wheresoever his whims take him. Let's split it up and ask the students if they've seen him. That was Alphino Leveilleur, wasn't it? The Alphino Leveilleur. And he's with his sister, and Master Bodessian's granddaughter. This can only mean one thing. An event of epoch-shattering proportions is fast approaching. Spread the word. Spread the word that your chair has once again not been hidden. Oh, sorry. You're looking for the scholar, yes? Knowing him, he could be anywhere, but Miss Alia Pock should have a better idea. Okay, let's talk to Mrs. Alia Pock. Are you lost? Wandering off the streets, perhaps? Wait, don't tell me. You're a trainee leader fresh off the guild shift. I'm right, aren't I? No. Oh, how silly of me. An orientation is in order. Allow me to bid you a warm welcome to the Searchers' Meet. Let me start with a question. What is the most important thing you'll find in the studio? Is it medication against hay fever? That's right, books. What's the second most important? Why, that's simple. Everything else. That's what we'll deal with here in the Searchers' Meet. Whenever the students or tutors find themselves in need of equipment or material, they come to us. If we don't have it in our stores, they send the claimants up to find it. Honestly, you wouldn't believe some of the requests we get. Eyes of pies of this, the tongue of a giant old fat. It's enough to make your hair stand on end. Which is possibly what some of our students are trying to accomplish, this being a school of magic and all. And so, our newest leader, you'll have your work cut out for you. But I think you'll find it quite rewarding. The only thing I'm interested in gleaning is information on the Scholar's whereabouts. Bad buds are part of me now. I beg your pardon, you're not a cleaner. Then this was all an elaborate ruse? No wait, come to think, you never actually claimed to be one in the first place. No mistake. He was here, but now he's not. I did speak with him shortly before you arrived, though. He said he was on his way to make us meet. Go back the way you came in and you'll see it on the opposite end of the entrance. It's a laboratory of sorts, home to many rare and expensive curios. Not to mention alarmingly frequent accidents. If you lose your way, just follow the blood-curdling screams. Oh boy. Ha! In the time it's taken me to tell all this, the scholar has probably already left. Best of luck finding him. I have a feeling you'll need it. Just follow the screams. There we go. Yes, this colleague was here a short while ago. He offered me advice on my current research project. Though we spoke at length, I don't recall him mentioning where he was planning to go next. When we parted ways, he went down the corridor, perhaps to one of the auditoriums. There we go. I mean, this is weird. Learners meet. This public lecture hall in the phenomenon is open to student pupils and Charlian citizens alike. When prominent lectures are scheduled to take the lectern, crowds of aspiring academics and established scholars often fill the room to capacity.
Ah, I remember you.
Hello, we've met.
I pray we have not caught you at an inopportune moment. We wanted to offer our thanks for your kind words in the forum.
Well, I could hardly let that inquisition go unchallenged. I've always believed that curiosity should be nurtured, not stifled. Thankfully, a majority of my colleagues agreed. A slender majority, aye, but a majority nonetheless.
Had the vote not gone our way, we would be having a very different conversation, if any at all. Though I'd like to think you would have not given up on our cause. I'm told you paid a visit to the annex afterwards.
Yes, that's right. I was hoping to speak with the grandchildren of my dearly departed friends Galuf and Louisois in a less dour setting. But it seems I just missed you. I still can't believe how much you've grown. If only your grandsires could have seen the way you presented yourselves to the forum. Why, it fair brought a tear to my own eye. You must have the patience of a saint, putting up with this lot and their antics. Never mind Matoya's prize student.
Oh, I don't. I'll just dump them off into children's care and do the killing myself.
I know a thing or two about managing unruly younglings. If you ever need advice, don't hesitate to ask.
Let's have a dinner chat about that, shall we? I know perfectly good tea set.
If I may, there is a rather more pressing matter we wish to discuss. What can you tell us of this duty that the Forum must fulfill?
Nothing, I'm afraid. Like all humble servants of the Forum, I am sworn to secrecy. Or rather, I couldn't tell you if I tried. Our duty is of the gravest importance. Furthermore, if the particulars were made public, it would incite widespread panic. As such, those entrusted with this duty have been bound by an enchantment, which prevents us from speaking of such matters without the express permission of the Forum.
How is that even possible?
It's been some time since I last gave a lecture. Please, take a seat.
So yeah, I hope everyone is ready. This will be on the test, so pay attention.
We shall begin by reviewing the fundamentals of etherology. The ether, which imbues us with life, can be categorized into three forms. Two are of the incorporeal sort, the soul, and the memory. Can anyone tell me the third?
Corporeal ether. Scientists.
Yes, very good.
Scientists are very lazy with naming.
This is the form with which the layman is most familiar. Consumed by even the simplest of daily activities, and replenished by the food and drink that sustain us, this form of ether is in constant flux. In contrast, the ether that comprises the soul is rarely subject to dramatic change. The same can be said for memory, as the two are intrinsically linked. Picture the soul as paper, and memories as words written upon it. Now, what would happen if that paper was doused with ink? The same type of ether as comprises the memories.
It would blot out everything that was written.
Precisely. We would be unable to recall the memories, and any activities that depend upon them would be hindered as well. In fact, this exact phenomenon was observed on a vast scale not so long ago. And what might that have been?
The seventh Umbral Calamity.
It's actually nice that they address this. Like,
The people of Eorzea vividly recall Bahamut breaking free of the Lesser Moon and raining hellfire down upon the realm. But no one could seem to remember the events that followed immediately afterwards.
Indeed. To this day, we have yet to determine whether it was an unintended consequence or a deliberate act. The enchantment which binds me and the rest of the Forum is based on a similar principle. And yes, it is a contravention of the Charlian prohibition against the practice of memory manipulation. Only when a new member is inducted and told of our great duty are they subjected to the process. A necessary evil. You have my word that it would never be used to manipulate the populace.
I mean, the fact that it exists means that it can
I should
happen.
hope not. But can this enchantment be dispelled and your memories restored?
If 9/10 of our members give their approval, then the process may be reversed. Then, and only then, would we be able to speak freely to others of our sacred duty. Barring that, we must wait until we return to the ethereal sea. For there we will be purified, the blots upon our souls washed clean. And our memories drift apart and dissolve. Rather defeating the purpose, I suppose.
Very true.
But there are those memories that are indelibly etched upon our souls, some believe.
What happens after that?
We are reduced to pure ether, coalesce with that of others, and create souls anew. Alternative schools of thought assert souls remain whole and return to the corporeal world, reborn into another form. Both theories have their proponents. Personally, I consider each equally probable. Well, I think that's enough education for today, now that I've given you some food for thought. Or rather, an entire banquet.
I'm sorry, it's just one of those like tiny
I
moments
would
that make
remind
everything more
you
fun.
that although I'm unable to assist you with certain matters, the resources at my disposal may still be of use to you. I'll arrange for you all to be given the run of Phenomenon. Of course, as associate to our alumni and the students of Baldessian, this privilege is extended to you as well, my friend.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, and I suggest you speak with Ki Aliapo. She's well known among the artisans of Sharlayan, and her network of contacts may prove useful in your search for knowledge. I wish you all the best in your pursuits, wheresoever they may take you.
So there we go. We've learned a lot. Like, a lot. Like, oh boy! You've been granted the Run of Phenomenon. If you are game, Qui Aliapo would like to request your services. So yeah, a swimmingly capital idea right here. Well, that gives me much to mull over. I feel as though we're one step closer to understanding the form's true motives, and the mysteries of life itself, for good measure. It's funny, I came here with the intent of expressing my gratitude, only to leave more in depth than before. I have a feeling his friendship and support will be a great boon to us in days to come. And on that note, let's head back to the annex. Perhaps on the way you could better acquaint yourself with Queen Alipo, and as the scholar suggested, a life share of finding the Ra. Yes, so you need to be level 80 in order to, or not, so there, 80, yeah, words. So, this is the place where all of the crafting and gathering magic happens. We can't do anything with this. So, it's a bit pointless to be here, but yeah, if you're a gathering crafter, then this is the place to be. In the meantime, people are still trying to get ERP stuff going. I never actually see that on the European servers. Like, it might be that I'm just kind of avoiding it, but I've never seen that happen. Ah, welcome back. From what I hear, your trip to the studio proved most educational. While you were away, I received word from our fellow Scions. As expected, news of the water skills was met with much joy. Preparations are now on the way to bring the leadership of the Grand Companies of Eorzea and the Eastern Alliance together to determine the way forward. Our friends have asked that we bring the skills in our position to Limsa. So the time has come for us to go into the offense. Apologies. Apparently my hay fever today is acting up a lot more than it normally is. Let's start by getting the skills out of storage. Give me a hand, would you, Estinian? Aha! Phew, I didn't realize these crates were so heavy. I shouldn't complain though. Ritra and the alchemists of the great work put their heart and souls into each and every one of these scales, so you must treat them with the utmost care. Are you not coming with us? As much as I would like to escape the forum's watchful gaze, I feel little choice but to stay behind. We're already on thin ice, and if I, in my capacity as an official representative, were to be found consorting with foreign powers, well, you can imagine how that would go. I shall remain here and do my utmost to avoid ruffling any more feathers as I await more word from Master Matoya and our other allies. With luck, we'll soon have good news of our own to share. The tide is about to turn. I can feel it. Limsa Leminsa. So yeah, let's go to Limsa Leminsa, shall we? And as it is still early morning, there aren't a whole lot of people out yet. Relatively, not a whole lot of people out yet. Relatively. Ah, I was told to expect you. As you may or may not be aware, the Admiral is at present entertaining the Elder Seedseer and Sultana. 3 of the most powerful women in the world in one room. Do you need a moment to prepare? I'll show you to them. Yes, please. My apologies for calling you away from Charlian at such short notice. On the contrary, we are honored and grateful and pleasantly surprised to be joined by such esteemed company. It was only right that the discussions be conducted in person. We are locked in a war of attrition. Our forces struggle to contain the threat posed by the towers, and it's only a matter of time before we are overwhelmed. Victory will only be claimed through decisive action, and we have taken the initiative to set the wheels in motion. It is reassuring to learn we are all in accord. But might I ask what your plans entail? It hinges entirely on the bonding skills and our ability to utilize their potential to the fullest. During your time in Charlian, the allied nations have been engaged on separate fronts with no end in sight. It's also raining outside. Interesting. Nice little detail. To make matters worse, a surge in abductions and Kobold, Sahagin, Ixtal, and Anata have given rise to an increasing number of primals as well. The triumph in Rasad Han has given us cause to hope once more. The time has come to free ourselves of this menace. And it is you, the Sons of the Seventh Dawn, who have shown us the way. While the bulk of our forces will continue to hold Lotharoy at bay, we will dispatch our finest to strike at the enemy's heart. Gorlemold. These brave few will be the Ilsabard contingent. To think such progress has been made in so short a span. Its objectives are twofold. The first is to provide aid to the people of Garlemald. As previously reported, countless Imperial soldiers and civilians have been tempered. Robbed of their free will, they served into Lotharoy's every whim without question. They too are victims. It is our duty to deliver them from their suffering, not for strategic or political gain, but because it is the right thing to do. I do not ask that we set aside the decades of conflict and conquest, that we simply choose to forgive and forget. I ask only that in choosing to remember, we do not also forsake our compassion and morality, for without that there can be no reconciliation, only death without end. Aye, on that we can all agree. Our second objective is the colossal tower that Venkrit and Urianzi observed in the capital. Though its purpose remains unclear, there's reason to believe the smaller spires are merely a precursor of what's yet to come. Until the Tower of Zod was toppled, we failed to make any headway, though the same could be said of the Telophoroi. They're certainly in no rush to press further into our lands. I'd wager the spy's primary person is to divide and keep us occupied, while they work towards our annihilation. This would appear to be substantiated by Stolar's analysis of the tower's influence on ethereal currents. Based on observations inside the Tower of Zod, the spirits siphon ether from the land, consuming it to maintain their form. However, they draw forth far more than is required for this task alone. The excess of ether remains unaccounted for, but we can be sure it's not being harnessed for our benefit. It wouldn't surprise me in the least if they were being directed to the largest spire in the capital. There's a logic in that. Regardless, once we have uncovered the truth, we'll bring the schemes crashing down along with their infernal towers. That's all well and good. But what would you have us do? I assume it's more than handing over the scales and being on our way. We want you and your skills to join the Ilsabard contingent. Consider it an official request from both the Grand Company of Eorzea and the Eastern Alliance. Do you accept? No. Perhaps you should be the one to answer that. Yes, I'm here for revenge, mostly. Couldn't have put it better myself. Istola, Vagrant, and Urianti have already pledged their support and are on their way to meet the rest of the contingent. They were all positive you would come to the same decision as they did. Luckily for all involved, their prediction was correct. Once you have delivered the warrior skills to Alamigo, the contingent will embark on its journey to Ilsabard. Rauban and Lord America are overseeing preparations, so I suggest you make yourself known upon arrival. Pack warm clothing, furs and the like. Without it, the cold will do you in before the Telefroy, so much as raw steel. As for us, we'll keep the enemy busy while you're gone. They're not the only ones who can create a diversion. Now go! Save and knowledge to Eorzea will be as you left it. Or better, upon your return. So, let us go to the Alamigan Quarter. Ah, the Wanderers return. You've been busy bringing down the tower and producing the keys to destroying the rest of them. You should be proud. Those warrior skills of yours are what's made this whole venture possible. Will you and Lord Emmerich be leading the contingent? Regrettably, no. Our role is to organize the various delegations into a cohesive unit. Once we have seen you all off, it's back to our respective posts. We dare not neglect our duties for too long, lest our defensive efforts fall into disarray. And it's just between us, there's a fair amount of opposition to the formation of the Ilsabard contingent. The very suggestion that we should send out some of our finest troops behind enemy lines to render aid unto the Gallians has made me rather unpopular in certain quarters. Can't please them all. No, you cannot indeed. Sadly not, though I do my best. Truth be told, I'd much rather be at your side, charging into the fray. Alas, I have my battles on my own to fight, where words may serve me better than any blade. I hate to say it, but Lord Emmerich's struggles mirror my own. For the time being, the best we can offer you is the peace of mind from knowing Eorzea is in safe hands. As you fight a good fight in Ilsabard, I and the other commanders will do what we can to convince the naysayers that our cause is just. Thank you. Both of you. Oh, we meet again. Yeah. Oh, hello! Word of your exploits traveled quickly. From what I gather, the protective talismans you obtained led to the formation of this expeditionary force. My contribution on this occasion is but a minor one, that being the information I have shared with Maxima. For the sake of the people of Garlemald, may the fates be on your side. So you're not coming with us? Strange, I thought you'd have mistaken this. I do. The Zolofaroi have laid waste to my homeland and enslaved my people. But though every motive being cries for vengeance, I cannot be the one to deliver it. My presence alone would place the entire mission in jeopardy. I stand accused of murdering Emperor Valis and throwing Garlemald into chaos. Were I to travel with the Ilsabard contingent, it would give my countrymen ample cause to question our motives. Conversely, those who believe me innocent may instead celebrate the return of former legates and attempt to raise me to a position of leadership, further destabilizing the region and complicating the contingent's mission. Whether I am branded a villain or hailed a hero, I would only hinder your efforts. Kind of want to say, I doubt they'll be pleased to see me. A fair point, but as long as you refrain from announcing your arrival to all and sundry, the average person should have no inkling as to your identity. Although your titles and deeds are common knowledge, only a select few would recognize you on sight alone. Perhaps one day they will learn the Warrior of Light is not a demon to be feared, but a man deserving of their trust. In light of Gaius' rather unique circumstances, I instead will assume the role of your guide. Though I may have defected for political reasons, my love for Garlemald endures. I would stop at nothing to protect her and her people. Well said. Might I ask you to escort our friends inside? You might even bump into an old acquaintance or two. And if I don't see you again ere you depart, may the Fury guide and protect you. All of you. Let's move into the best of the best. Ooh. Mystery package. The other members of the Ilsabard contingent are gathered in the Royal Palace. I shall inform them of your arrival, so please make your way inside as soon as you're all ready. Yeah.
By the 12.
Jesus! That's a lot of people.
Glad you could join us. I hope you don't mind, but we went ahead and started without you.
As you can imagine, our traveling companions were eager to become acquainted. 'Tis a rare thing indeed to see such a diverse and talented group of individuals assembled for a single purpose. We fight not only for the sake of Eorzea, but for the entire world, including the people of Garlemald. Much rides on the efforts of the Ilsabard contingent.
Indeed, which is why I am glad to find myself in the company of many trusted comrades, yourselves included.
Lucia!
I have come at the behest of Lord Emmerich, who has honored me with the role of Ishgard's representative. And for the good of all nations, not least my former homeland, I am determined to see this mission through to its end. We have a hard road ahead of us, but walk it we shall, together.
We too welcome this opportunity to work together once more. I have faith that, if there is a way to resolve this conflict, we will find it.
Allow me to introduce you to the rest of our company. Everyone! If I may have your attention. Might I ask you to speak first?
If I must. I am Arun Senna, spokesman for the Gridanian delegation, here on behalf of my esteemed sister, the Elder Seedseer. We shall provide support and protection to those in need during our time in Garlemald. To that end, I am joined by healers selected by the Conjurers Guild, with the Order of the Twin Adder's Finest serving as our escort.
Suppose I'd better say my piece.
Wait, I know you.
The name's Sicard, in case you've forgotten. Truth be told, I'd rather you had forgotten. Any road, the Admiral asked Captain Hillfear to send his best, and for whatever reason, he picked me. Of course, if I'd refused, I'd be the laughing stock of the bloody executioners, and my reputation's taken enough of a keyhauling as it is. But more importantly, like any pirate worth his salt, I know when you're staring down a storm, you gotta trust in the commander of your ship. So if the Admiral wants us to go to Garlemald, not for plunder and glory, but the promise of peace in our time, then that's what we'll do. Since we all know how much the Empire loves its steel, we thought we'd bring along a few smiths to make the most of it. Give them a pile of scrap and they'll cobble together anything you fancy. Of course, just like the Gridanians, we got fighters of our own. We might have come with a more constructive purpose in mind, but we're more than capable of cracking skulls, believe you me.
Well, you're certainly raring to go. But then again, so are we. The most dependable warriors of Uldar and Alamigo have assembled at the Sultana and General Aldin's behest. If Garlemald has truly fallen, then the whole place is likely to be crawling with Telophoroi. We'll need plenty of troops to clear and hold a path for others to follow. That's where we come in. Naturally, Marshal Tarapin and I will be leading from the front.
It's been some time since I last saw you in your element on the battlefield.
From what I've heard, you've become pretty fearsome yourself. Master Matoya, the Avatar of Destruction.
I get the feeling those two won't live
With
long enough to
comrades
regret
like
it.
these, I know we'll succeed, no matter what awaits us. And then we might finally get a chance to enjoy a good long rest. But until then, let's give it our all.
As for Ishgard, we Temple Knights have come in force to uphold our nation's commitment to the peace and welfare of our allies. The bitter cold of Garlemald is a formidable enemy in of itself. Our experience fighting in ice and snow will prove invaluable in the days ahead. Accordingly, I have been designated commander of the Ilzabard contingent. I will do all in my power to provide you with the leadership and guidance you require. The four high houses, House Hylinart foremost among them, have arranged for a host of machinists to join us on our mission. Their knowledge of Imperial Magitech is sure to be a great boon. They will address any problems of a technical nature, together with the smiths of Limpsa Lomitsa. There is another awaiting introduction.
Lord Emanolaine?
Ah, yes. Emanolaine de Forton, at your service. Though, lest there be any misunderstanding, I should stress that I've not become a fearsome warrior while you were away. Rather, far from it, actually. My brother, in his infinite wisdom, decided this would be an excellent chance to make something of myself. Oh, and fight for world peace and all that. But, should the opportunity arise for a spot of ballroom dancing, I will be your twinkle-toed gentleman of light.
Apologies, quickly going to the toilet.
Huzzah! I cannot wait to regale Honorat with my tales of daring-do.
I believe that concludes introductions for the Grand Company of Eorzea. Our allies from the Eastern Alliance were due to arrive some time ago, but it would appear they have been delayed.
Would that be the shinobi of Doma?
Actually, they've been tasked with relaying messages back and forth between the various Eastern nations. According to Lord Hien, however, an equally capable company of warriors has been sent in their stead.
Out of my way, you preening fool!
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, little son has found his way to here. Quick, hide before he
Forgive us
catches
for
all of your
coming
women.
late. We are the delegates of the Eastern Alliance.
Cyrena, and you've brought company.
For battle and blood we come, as the steppe is sorely lacking in both. No towers befoul our lands, so we marched on those of Doma, only to find them beyond our reach. But now our thirst for slaughter will be slaked. No quarter to the enemy!
Sadu Hatun, no. We go to make peace with the Iron Men, not war.
Warriors of the Steppe, we've heard many tales of your bravery. We welcome you as allies. And these other ones you have brought are...
Members of the Dalmascan resistance group, Lente's Tears.
And the Bosnian resistance.
Ah, technically we haven't done it yet.
Between them, they have a wealth of experience in espionage, and are particularly adept at infiltrating Imperial facilities.
I really should finish Bosnia at some
Which is
point.
fortuitous, since Garlemald's domain is so vast that I could never hope to handle reconnaissance duties all by myself.
Dalmasca, Bosnia, Alamigo. All lands which have suffered the tyranny of the Empire.
It's a
I
very...
would never presume to question your motives. Nevertheless, I must reiterate that our goal is to aid the victims of the Telophoroi, the common folk of Garlemald.
It's a veritable who's who's of Eorzea.
And they are victims, make no mistake. Though I understand that many may struggle to see them as such.
You're more right than you know. For every one of us that answered the call, there were a dozen that refused. Not only in Alamigo, but everywhere we went. And who could blame them? The Empire's always been the enemy. But after seeing what we've seen, fighting and working against and with Garleans, there's no denying the simple truth. They're just people, no different from you or I. They've got their share of liars and murderers, but so do we. So do we all. Fordola, who once swore herself to Garlemald, has proven herself a trusted ally time and time again. Every Eorzean here knows Cid Garland, the Imperial defector who shared with us countless technological wonders.
Maxima, who stands with us today, tried to reform Garlemald from within and make peace with Doma. So you can believe me when I say that every fighter here understands and accepts that the Imperials are not monsters and are deserving of help. Or at least that they were able to put aside their feelings for the greater good. It won't be easy, but we're all determined to make this world a better place.
What lingering concerns I may have had were clearly unwarranted. I agree with everything you said wholeheartedly.
Then we are in accord. Now, let us review our strategy. To reach the Garlean capital in northern Ilsabard, we must cross the central mountain range. Fortunately, Garlond Ironworks can provide aerial transport, sparing us this most treacherous part of our journey. However, attempting to fly any closer to Garlemald would attract the attention of the Telophoroi. As they appear to have seized control of the majority of the Imperial military, we must assume that includes its fleet. In addition, Garlemald possesses devices that can interfere with airship navigational systems, further discouraging an airborne approach.
Given the circumstances, the closest we dare deploy our contingent is an area between the range and the capital, the Magna Glaciers. From there, we must travel the rest of the way on foot. We will also need to bring the airships with us to ensure we can withdraw with haste. Although much of the terrain will be blanketed in snow, we should be able to make use of local roads and shipping facilities. The vast ice field will afford us an unobstructed view of the surrounding area. On the other hand, it will also allow others to easily spot us. So it is imperative that we only make camp in positions where we can easily defend ourselves. And the airships, which must be kept safe at all costs.
We cannot account for every possibility, so we must be prepared to think on our feet. We will be tested. Sorely tested, I expect. But for our homes and for our people, and a people not our own but in need, we will succeed. Spare no effort in your preparations. Once we depart, there is no turning back.
Yeah, it's a veritable who's who of all the companions we've met over the course of over 4 expansions. Besides the delegates assembled here, the Amalji and several other tribes offered to send troops of their own. Unfortunately, due to their physiology, many would struggle simply to survive in the harsh climate of Ilsabard. They would also likely prove tempting targets for abduction by the Telophoroi. All things considered, they could better aid the cause by bolstering our defenses in Eorzea, though the eagerness to do more has been noted. We few shall have to suffice. Ere we embark, we must distribute the warning scales to our comrades. Care to do the honors? Yes. Lucia! Many thanks. The establishment may prove to be the deciding factor. I find myself conflicted by this foray into Garlemald. Sent by the Empire to infiltrate Ishgard, only to throw in my lot with those whose secrets I was supposed to be stealing. And now I can lead a mission to save the country I betrayed. But that is doubtless why I was chosen by Lord Emmerich. He would have me put my extensive knowledge and formatized to good use. I will not disappoint me. For the future of Ishgard, Garlemald, and the world at large, I will lead us to victory. Whoa, look at these! Even a layman like me can tell they're bursting with fever. All the better to fend off the tempering waves? Is that the right term? Anyway, these will give us one less thing to worry about, which just leaves the other mountain of whatever else is waiting for us in Garlemald. Only one way to find out, eh? And nervous or not, I'd march through all 7 hells if it gave me a chance to put Xenos back into the grave where he belongs. I see, God. Ah, them skills. Them skills everyone's been talking about. Pretty little things, ain't they? Reckon they're worth a kill or two when this is all over, but we'll hold on to them for now. And one more thing. I know you're all thinking, why didn't they send Eisner instead? Look at me if I know. All the Admiral on Capitol Hill fear taught me was that they needed someone to help safeguard the future. And here I am. Can't say they haven't got a sense of humor. Of course, some of you might be wondering what a good pirate is on dry land. In the middle of the Southern snow of all places. Well, me and my crew will do anything whatever needs doing. So let's sail, or if the saying goes on airships. So these are the famed warding scales. Enough for me and my men, I see. Under normal circumstances, I would not be allowed to travel outside of the Dolphins wood. The elder seats here, however, has granted me special permission. She has bid me lay into my magics to the people of Garlemald while learning all I can of their ways. In doing so, I will come closer to understanding myself and my place in the world. Or so she says. I say it's past time for our allies benefited from the power at the seats here's disposal. Some bemoan that we hide our light under a bushel, and I intend to address that criticism. We heard it will be cold in Garlemald, so we came prepared. Nice. Well done. Oh, the talismans! We are to keep these closed at all times, yes? I will see that no one misplaces theirs. And before I forget, I have a message from Ian. In distant lands, in times of strife, together stand, together fight, in darkness shines the light of life. I hope I have done his words justice. No man which like offered has been plagued by the towers. Yet while he could not be here, he wished to express his shared conviction. He and Yuguri labor without rest to unite the people, and with their aid will we keep the enemy at bay. And we have the Steppen and the Eastern Alliance who will pay the efforts by ending this war. Yes. Thank you for this, and for going to such incredible lengths for the sake of my people. Though I have little to offer in return, I would impart some advice, if I may. You have been told by many to wear the Call of Ilsebard, and I cannot stress enough that this is no token warning. I will be distributing specially made warming tinctures, courtesy of the Alchemist Guild, but understand that they are no substitute for proper protection. I leave the provisioning of said protection to your discretion. Now let us proceed to the Alamecan Quarter. While you make your final preparations, I will have the pilots ready their ship. This is our last chance to make ready before we set forth. You need warrior, but Urianger and I still have what we were in Garlemald before. Justinian claims to be quite warm and toasty beneath his armor, but since he spent a fair bit of time up north recently as well, I have no reason to doubt his words. Most of the others will be borrowing Grand Company stock. The rest of you could do likewise, I suppose, provided you're not overly concerned with style. Not to put a fine point on it, but I wouldn't be seen dead in one of those ridiculous overcoats. If only I had time to find something to my liking. Shush. Hark! Is that the cry of a sciony need of the tailor I hear? Oh no. Oh no. No, 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 no. How? Yes, how? I have my ways. Oh yes, indeed. You thought you could sneak up to Ilsebard without telling me? Nothing escapes my notice. Hi, Totaro. Now, you will wear these garments I've made for you, whether you like it or not. Yeah, she never ceases to amaze indeed. But why do you need a new outfit as well? Wait, are you coming with us? What? No, of course not. Silly. It's all in the name of fashion. Rather the pursuit of the highest quality fashion. Besides, how can I expect others to wear my creations if I've never worn them myself? Ah, I did have one other thing to share. Person and person have finally returned from assignments in faraway lands. They'll be staying at the Rising Stones for a while, so keep an eye on events throughout Eorzea. Since they'll be running things back at headquarters, I was wondering if I could lend a hand in Charlian? Oh, why not? You can keep Krell company in the Bodesian Annex. Yes, we'd love to have you there. And I've heard Person and Person did a fine job carrying on in our stead while we were lying comatose. With them in charge of the Rising Stones, we've nothing to worry about. My thoughts exactly. Also, while I'm confident you won't go collapsing again, because a certain sun would rather remain rainless, easily in a position to transport your source to another world, if anything similarly disastrous were to happen, I'll be well positioned to do something about it. Anyway, I've got a few things to take care of. Then I'll make my way to Charlian. I really do hope these new clothes are enough to keep you warm in Garlemald. It's not much, but it's the only thing I can do for you, other than pray for your safe return. Which I will. Every day. Let's not keep the contingent waiting any longer. Here are your winter woolies, handcrafted by yours truly. Yay, I got myself some winter woolies! You know what? I might actually just glamour that on there. Why not? You know, like we're going into a cold place. There we go. That works. Yes, time to enter a frosty reception. I'm told the airship pilot has been sent to meet you. Ah, there he is. Yay. Alright, this is where we go separate ways. Do be careful, won't you? It's an honor to finally meet you. We of the Garland Ironworks will be ferrying you and your contingent across the mountains and into Garlemald. For many of us, it will be something of a homecoming. Our illustrious founder was only our most notable Imperial defector. For that reason, the company is committed to the success of this expedition. Our resources are at your disposal. If there's aught we might be to do for any further assistance, please do not hesitate to ask, because you can't speak for some reason. If you are ready to depart, I will ready the engines. Upon boarding, several cutscenes will play in sequences. Recommended you set aside a sufficient time to fill this season in its entirely in requirements. In addition, you will be required to participate in battle. Your progress will be saved at certain points. In the event that you are defeated, you will be able to try again from the most recent of these. Please note that if you enter battles associated with other quests or log out from the game, your progress will be lost. Let's start a frosty reception, shall we? I did promise Snow and Thinkbread, and I'm going to give you guys both.
Ilsabard, divided in twain by a vast mountain range. Those who would traverse its jagged peaks face peril at every step. But why go by foot when one can simply fly?
Indeed.
On the outskirts of the Imperial capital, in the frozen wastes of the Magna Glacius, the winds howl in icy protest, as if to warn against further trespass.
Oh, so that hair clipping out is just... yeah.
We've received word from Thancred's reconnaissance party. They've sighted a detachment of heavily armed Imperials.
Survivors of the Civil War, perhaps?
Perhaps, but there is more to it than that. Maxima reports that they're led by Vergilia, legatus of the 3rd Legion, which comprises the bulk of their number. However, they are also joined by several members of the 1st.
From what I recall, the 3rd Legion fought for Nerva in the War of Succession following Varus's death. The 1st, on the other hand, were under the direct command of the Emperor and rejected Nerva's claim to the throne. These legions were enemies.
Indeed. In fact, our sources claim that it was a conflict between them that sparked the Civil War. Yet now, these former foes cooperate to defend a ruined Garlemald from invasion.
Then it is all but certain they have been tempered.
So, what's the plan? If me and my crew is out reaving, we charge straight in, no messing about. But that ain't what we're here for.
Can I say that I'd love to think that the Guardian is the one that's the coldest of all?
Quite right. Soldiers or no, they are people of Garlemald, the very ones we have come to aid. Direct confrontation is unavoidable. Nevertheless, we must make every effort to limit casualties on both sides. Rather than kill them, I would remove them from the field.
How so? Savage beatings, disarmament, and imprisonment? Not impossible, but easier said than done in the heat of battle.
Having observed the opposition, I imagine Thancred had something to suggest?
He did. He and the other scouts have already infiltrated a supply depot some distance beyond the Imperial detachment's current position. Stored within is a stockpile of Magitech armaments, and once we give the signal, Thancred's team will destroy them all. In so doing, we will deprive frontline troops of materiel, and likely force the detachment to send men to investigate.
Divide and conquer. Not a bad idea.
Once the scouts have finished their preparations, we will split into 2 groups. The first will form the vanguard, while the other brings up the rear with our supplies. As for the Scions, I ask that you lend your assistance where you deem it needed most. I would prefer, however, that you accompany the rearguard and be prepared to join the van at a moment's notice. Kept in reserve as our trump card, so to speak.
Meanwhile, at the Imperial Supply Depot.
Your proposal was well received. More specifically, they asked that we destroy the Imperial's toys in as spectacular a fashion as possible.
Pistola always did have a flair for the dramatic. She's not an easy woman to please, but I shall do my best to satisfy her thirst for fireworks. All right. Once more for my peace of mind. Our first objective will be to rig the enemy's Magitech with explosives. After we've withdrawn to a safe distance, we'll detonate them remotely. Our second will be to issue a deactivation command to the automated units via the control terminal. If our calculations are correct, this signal should reach those deployed on the front line, giving our friends a much-needed upper hand. The blizzard will help us stay hidden, so let's aim to get in and out before it passes. Trust in the plan. and we should all live to see tomorrow.
Very fine plan indeed.
In the meantime, I will relay messages back and forth as the situation unfolds. You'll forgive me if I ask again, but are you certain you wish to play the lone wolf?
Wouldn't have it any other way. Call it foolish and reckless if you like, but I'll get the job done. I always do.
Very well. I wish you the best of luck.
Ladies and gentlemen, the moment that if you've seen the title, you know what's coming is about to come. There you go. Assuming there's nothing else you wish to confirm, we may commence on our mission as soon as you're ready.
Keep your wits about you.
It's time. We only have one shot at this, so let's make it count.
So yeah, it is time. We'll do some snaking around. There you go. And the Breath of Witness is not allowed to go above 100. So we're doing some solid snaking here. Come on, buddy, move. Move! That works.
Damn, spotted.
There we go. That's the hardest thing in the world. So, time to pop in even more bombs. And let's enjoy the fireworks, shall we?
This is Thancred.
There we go!
The explosives are in place.
Very good. All is proceeding as planned.
Indeed, this is Thancred indeed.
Head to the control terminal. It should be to the northwest.
No, okie dokie.
Understood. Have the others wait at the rendezvous point.
Come on, buddy. Stay the hell away from me, please. If I can help it, I'd rather not. There we go. So yeah, I should mention, it says that we have an hour. That is because the unfortunate reality of the situation is that this is just part 1. It's going to be a multi-step progress. Come on, buddy. Good boy.
Must be losing my touch.
Okay. See, this is why you don't want to get into too many fights.
Must be losing my touch.
Alright, fine. I love the fact that they're like just not questioning any of this. Okay, so there we have the control terminal. We need to ensure we are out of the way here. Good. So let's go ahead and skip off. Oh, withdraw from supply depot. Oops. So we just have to go back the way we came. You have seen nothing. Y'all have seen nothing. God damn it. I really hate it. This is the one part that I'm not a fan of, which is that it isn't 100% clear where you need to go. Either. Oh, there we go.
You are returned, and none the worse for wear, to my considerable relief.
What news from our comrades?
They stand at the ready.
Excellent. Then let the fireworks begin.
Yes. Please, by all means. Ooh. That's a big boom. A few moments later, at the rear of the Ilsebard contingent supply caravan.
The blizzard's beginning to clear.
God damn it.
The Vanguard should be engaging the Imperials any moment now. If they haven't already. Ishtola and the others are with them, so I'm sure they'll be alright, but...
But...
Wait! Something's coming!
Oh! It's a lot of very, very angry doggos.
Oi, oi! Looks like we ain't the only ones who sent out scouts. Keep them away from the carriages! We lose those, and we're as good as dead!
There you go, in the coming battle, you fight us yourself.
Fighters! Protect the others!
Oi, 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 oi. Oi, 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 oi. Oh, mate. Dealing with something here. We can kill the mech six as much as we want, just, you know. Don't kill the actual enemies. There we go.
A brief respite, but stay alert. Keep the carriages safe.
Okay, time for us to start moving. Emmanuel, we've heard that you have some problems. Oh, zip it, buddy.
Fear not, friends! The savior of Ishgard is here!
Thank you very much for the holy, buddy. Appreciate it.
A fine display, but the other carriages are still in danger.
Zip it, buddy.
Go on ahead. We'll hold the line.
We're the only ones still struggling.
Yep, buddy. Don't worry, I'm here.
So we put our backs into it then!
I've been itching for a good scrap.
Hiya, buddy. Appreciate you all coming to our lovely welcome party. Don't appreciate all the killing, though. Come on, buddy. we go. So yeah, we need to go and basically help with killing all of the enemies. Yes, a tower is starting to edge ever closer, and we're very far away from home. My fucking pleasure. Come on, buddy. Good boy.
You lot all right back there? We're fine and ready for more.
Come on, buddy. Come on. Keep.
Hear that? Get to the front and turn the tide.
My fucking pleasure. Meanwhile, on the front line. Like I said, I like the fact that all of the music of the past expansions is being used to convey the right tone.
Removed from the field was not a euphemism for enthusiastically murder.
It's nothing that won't heal in time. The trouble is, their tempering has made them utterly fearless. Subduing them would be easier if they had the capacity to submit in the first place.
Well, this is the path our young charges would have us walk, and that we all agreed to follow. You knew it would be hard, yet still you pledged your lance, did you not?
That I did.
That's Vigilia. Damn it. I need to help the others take her down.
Hello! I'm coming on running. Right in time, hopefully.
There's no end to them!
My glowing sword makes me rather obvious. Hello.
I was wondering when you'd turn up.
Shush.
There's no stopping us now. Come on. Let's show them what we're made of.
Indeed.
We have them now! Forward!
Absolutely perfect.
Right! Let them have it!
I've heard that we are in need of
As a raging bull!
Come on, buddy. Do your thing. Well done, buddy. Appreciate the help. Oh yeah, buddy.
That's her! Virginia!
Hello. Let me first go to deal with the Reaper.
Do not fall behind!
There you go. Like I said, when they say, hey, keep in mind that it's going to be long, then yeah, it is, because we've been on this for almost 30 minutes. Now it's starting to hack and slash away at them. Come on, here you go. The thing is they are both healers, DPS and tanky because they don't know with which job you will actually be doing this.
Is everyone alright?
Yep. Don't you worry about me, buddy. Worry about yourself.
Kill or die!
Well to do. Seems like we know better how to deal with these enemies than you do. Hard. Boy. There you go. So now they can't hit us at all for a bit. And I also like the fact that like every character gets their own moment to shine. This is a really nice detail. This is a really nice way to kind of like show off the fact that everyone has their own path to follow, and also their own specialties.
Tremble before the sun!
Ooh. Boom. There we go. That is the duty completed.
Reclaim yourself! Then we will fight again, to the death!
Please don't.
Sadu Hatun!
That was the last of them. The day is ours, thanks to your timely arrival. What of the supply caravan? Outmaneuvered, but not outmatched. Good. Let us take the Imperials into custody and rejoin our comrades. And soon we shall arrive at the capital.
So cold and unforgiving. Thus spoke Emperor Solus as he gazed upon his barren domain. "800 years it had been since the Garleans first set foot here. Bested by the Kavosi, after centuries of war and driven from fertile southern pastures into the blasted northern wastes. In that garden of desolation, they clung to one another for warmth, freezing, hungry, desperate, hated. The chosen forsaken. In the year 1513 of the 6th Astral Era, a young legatus named Solus single-handedly sparked the Magitech Revolution. How did he conceive the machina that feed on ceruleum? Once a common, soft-spoken soldier, how had he so quickly ascended through the ranks? Like so many others, those who knew the truth are gone. Taking in the capital with his eyes for the first time, I recall thinking to myself, far colder on the earth than in the heavens. Yes, far colder indeed. Bitterly so.
Welcome to Garlemald. An area that the game has been teasing since day one.
Not so much as a whisper.
The roads leading beyond the city walls would have been used less in recent years. Nevertheless, this was one of the most important gateways into the capital.
A buzz day and night with activity, aye. Merchants passing through the checkpoint, many of them stopping at the local hostelries.
Surely they cannot all have been tempered.
We can consider the question after we have made camp. If we spend any longer outside, we may well freeze to death where we stand. The tempered Imperials, too.
This will be our temporary base of operations. Secure shelter for ourselves and the injured, and dispatch scouts to survey the surrounding area.
If we're planning on staying here a while, we ought to give this place a proper name.
Well, the constant sound of ice cracking underfoot makes me think of broken glass. An apt name, perhaps. But enough of this. To work, everyone!
Welcome to Camp Broken Glass. Welcome to Garlemald. An icy waste. With a looming tower constantly everywhere. It is utterly featured. It is utterly the fire area defining. And we are going to see more of this on Friday. Because, alas, time has come to end today's stream. It's amazing. I could go for another 15 minutes, but there is honestly not much that we can do other than just start and to just. There is going to be about a week between now and the next stream. At least the next Final Fantasy stream, so it's a bit pointless to even begin. What better way than to end than in the icy coals of the Empire surnamed so much throughout the course of Eorzea's history. Tomorrow we will start, or we not start, but we will continue Hearts of Iron 4 at some point. Then there will be no streams on Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday probably not as well. Kind of depends. And then on Friday, the frigid, cold wastes of Garlemald await. Hope to see you tomorrow for more Hearts of Iron 4. And otherwise, see you guys on Friday. Have a good one.